Thank you, Mr. Chair. Mr. Monsees, I want to ask a little bit about the FDA's process for regulating e-cigarette and vaping products. Under the FDA's deeming rule, vaping products which were on the market prior to August 8, 2016, the date with which the deeming rule went into effect, could avoid FDA regulation. Can you explain what it means for a product to be on the market before that date?
So, and I'm sorry, you're talking about the deeming date of 2006?
For example, so let me just be more specific because I'm short on time and I want to get through a lot here, okay? So would selling pods at one single store be sufficient?
Would it be sufficient?
Yes.
To run a business? Is that what you...
Okay, let me read the question again. You're a very bright man, so I'm sure you can follow me, and I don't want you
I'm doing my best.
Time here, okay? So under the FDA's deeming rule, vaping products that were on the market prior to August 8, 2016, the date in which the deeming rule went into effect, could avoid FDA regulation. Can you explain what it means for a product to be on the market before that deeming date? What does it mean?
Oh, I see. So my best recollection of the standard there is that the product has to have been offered for commercial sale, and that's effectively the definition of.
Okay. I'm going to move on.
Right.
Did Juul rush? The point is, did you rush any products onto the market before the August 8th grandfather date in order to beat that effective date?
We did. I think that's a very fair way to put it. This is what effectively every product in the category facing that hard deadline did. Now, none of those products are products that were...
time. I'm sorry, I'm short on time here. So, Exhibit 2, unfortunately our screens aren't working, but you know, I can recite well here. In a February 2nd, 2016 internal email, 6 months before this grandfather date, from Sarah Richardson, the communications director to a group, including Juul's executive director of brand and product marketing and the director of global customer implementations. The email, it says, quote, "Wanted to recap you on our chat this AM regarding Juul's limited SKU messaging, i.e. various nicotine levels, new flavors, bottled juice. Guidelines. Number 1, for grandfathering purposes, we don't want to frame these SKU launches as being a test or being a short-term SKU. Limited launch or limited locations is preferable. Don't want to imply that they're going away. Number 2, we also don't want to imply anything around timing for expanded availability to protect ourselves, as many may very well not be available by the end of this year." So, Mr. Monsees, Juul did try to introduce limited runs to beat the grandfather date, correct?
I think I already admitted to that, yes.
Very good. Okay. Well, very bad, but thank you for honoring it. So why was it important that you, quote, not frame these SKU launches as being a test or being a short-term SKU?
So I'll give you one specific example here. When we were first launching Juul, we were a very small company with very limited resources. And we had wanted from the very beginning to, for example, have a number of different nicotine strengths available to consumers. Now, when we were faced with this grandfather date that was coming very, very quickly, we did do a lot of work. I mean, there was a lot of legwork done to develop all of those products and actually push them out. Now, we did actually sell those products to consumers. And this was, in general, what the whole industry was doing to try to basically preserve optionality, right, given the situation. I want to get through a
couple more things here because, you know, what I'm getting at and what's very disturbing about this and problematic is that it seems that you were looking to circumvent FDA regulation. And that's what's troublesome about this paper trail and what you're corroborating here today. So, because Juul did not want to, quote, imply that they're going away, but in the next line acknowledges that many may very well not be available by the end of this year.
Right. So as I said, we did.
I'm sorry, reclaiming my time. Mr. Monsees, how many limited SKU launches did you introduce after this email, and how many are still available today?
I don't know exactly.
Okay, you can get back to me. So Exhibit 3 is from August 12, 2016 board minutes. It shows the volume of new products that Juul tried to introduce between December 2015 and August 2016 when the deeming rule went into place. You added, and I quote, 3 Juul starter kits, 11 Juul device colors, 17 pod flavors, 29 partner pod flavors with 7 major juice brands, 21 pod flavors and 2 to 3 additional nicotine strengths, and 27 bottled juice flavors in 3 nicotine strengths. That's a major push.
That's absolutely correct, yes.
So, Mr. Monsi, is it your belief that all of that is grandfathered and therefore shielded from FDA regulation?
So we have a very limited set,
And we have limited time, so yes or
right.
no? Is it your belief that all of this is grandfathered and therefore shielded from the FDA regulation, and that is why you rushed these products?
So every product that's on market right now was in no way rushed. It was legitimately on the market, has been sold for some period of time. We have no intention of introducing any new flavors whatsoever until after PMTA takes place.
Congresswoman, the time has expired.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.